Let's move on to talk about Sam's mate, Conor Benn. We don't know where he's going to fight, who he's going to fight. Now, we know who he doesn't like and who he can be rude to. But we don't know which weight class he's going to fight in and when he's going to fight. Now, you've got Jack Catterall in the mix with you, Sam. Can you truly make a claim, or can you back up the position that is being asserted that Conor Benn is a world-class fighter when you've got Jack Catterall sitting in your stable that really is?
Conor Benn's just a bigger name. Conor Benn's a bigger name. He's been a part of 2 back-to-back stadium fights, whether people like it or not, and he's apart from AJ and Fury, he's the biggest commercial name in this country by a mile at the moment. So I personally think he is. I think he is. I've seen how hard he trains and how hard he dedicates himself, and I think that all this of he won't win a world title. Like, you honestly don't believe Conor Benn would beat Rolando Romero? Conor Benn would spark Rolando Romero. He'd beat Barrios. And he's going to fight the winner of Barrios and Garcia for the WBC world title. That's what's going to happen.
So, if he was given the opportunity to fight Lewis Crocker, would he beat him?
I believe so, yeah.
You think he'd beat Lewis Crocker?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the big question for Conor that we think is the debate whether he can get down to 147. We've all felt that if he before he fought Eubank, that the fight that I would have preferred for him to take was Barrios, and I felt he could win that fight, and still think he could win that fight. I don't think he can fight. I don't think he can win at 154. I don't think he wins a world title at 154. That's because
Boots Ennis is there. No one's beating him.
Understood.
No one's beating him. Let me tell you that.
I think the worry is when you've been up to 160. It's maintaining that strength and that speed.
No, I
and
get all of that.
When you drop back down to 147.
It's not beneficial. It's, for me...
He's not been there for 4 years, so that will be difficult for him.
Yeah, for sure. I'm saying I don't think it's beneficial for him to go there, but he's got this obsession of becoming WBC world title at 147. That's what he wants to do. His dad won the belt. He wants to become a world champion that way. And I'm... Whether people say whatever they like about, I'm biased. I'm not. I just see people are a little bit harsh to him when they're saying, he can't beat Barrios. Like, yes, he will. He'd beat Barrios.
No, I don't think people have said that. I think they've said that it's going to be difficult for him to get down to 147 again. And that's the big concern.
I've heard a lot of people say that he will not win a world title. Like, I think if you put him against Rolando Romero, Barrios...
I think the concern is... I think, of course, he could beat Romero and he could beat Barrios if he had that strength and that power and that speed and that stamina down at 147. And that is the big question mark. There's not so much that he can beat the current champions at the moment. For me, it's can he beat the weight? I think the weight is a bigger issue for him than...
No, for sure. It's going to be very, very difficult.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, I've spent time with Conor. You asked me to go and have a drink with him a couple of years ago, and I did, and I liked him. I think he's a very nice boy.
Yeah.
I've always liked him. I understand the challenges that he's been through. This iteration or this incarnation of Conor that we've now got, what's that about? We seem to see a very hostile and aggressive... Because it doesn't chime with the Conor Benn that I've met in terms of the fact... I know he's had difficulties. I know he's pissed off with people making observations about
he's got to be in his bonnet with a few people.
Right. But this angry, aggressive, unpalatable, unpleasant Conor that's going around at this moment in time is not really reflective of the kid that I've met. Or is this the new version of Conor, or is this what sells?
No, all I would say is, I had an opinion of Conor Benn before I met him, and I was thinking, not my cup of tea. But when you meet him, like you...
Yeah, like him a lot.
He's the most generous, nice person that you will ever come across. If you've got an opinion, that's fine. But it's, like, as I say, I know the Duke McKenzie...
You can't say things that he said to Duke.
No. I even said that. No, definitely not. But also, you can't say things that aren't true. So you have to expect to be pulled up on that.
Absolutely.
But there is a way of conducting yourself, and I'm not saying that's the right way, because it absolutely isn't. And you've got to speak to your elders with more respect, in my opinion. But people should know the details before they say, Conor's this, he's that.
Yeah.
Conor's a very good kid. He really is. He's a very, very good kid. He's a very respectful kid. People have their opinions of him, and they're entitled to it. That's that. But you have to respect what he's done recently, what he's done against Eubank, because he was not the favourite in that fight. I know people say, Eubank was shot. All right, that's fine. But you still have to beat what's put in front of you, and he did.
He'd win.
Yeah, I did as well. I did as well. But I'm saying you still have to beat what's put in front of you.
In the second fight, I did, yeah.
People have this thing like, he boxed a shot to pieces. Hold on a minute. Eubank's massive compared to Conor Benn. Massive. Conor Benn's not a...
He was done, though, in the second fight.
Yeah, no problem.
The first
but
fight,
Paul, we can't be all pick holes. Joe, in boxing, right? Just quickly,
the first fight,
right?
I was very, very impressed with Benn because of the effort that he gave.
He boxed the wrong fight, though, in that fight.
I was more impressed with Eubank because I didn't think Eubank had that left in him.
Do you know what I'm saying is, though, Paul? Do you know, like, if you can go into any fight and you can pick holes into anything, like, OK, say somebody beats Usyk next, Fabio Wardley beats Usyk next.
Yeah,
they're going to say, oh, Usyk's done. You can't, we should be saying, wow, Fabio Wardley. You've got to... In boxing, there's always he's beat him, he's caught him at the right time. He's beat him, he was done at the weight.
But what you find, Sam...
Give the geezer some respect.
I agree, you've got to give him his respect, and I do. I respect him, and as you said, as both of you have said, I met the kid before all the problem with the drug test and all that.
Yeah.
And he was one of the nicest kids I've met. He is a nice kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what you're saying is, after most fights, it's like, oh, you caught him at the right time. That is boxing. You do catch him at the right time. I always use this example. Ricky Attencourt cost Tszyu at the right time.
Excellent.
A year earlier, it's a different fight.
Yeah.
But he beat him because he got him just at the right time. He wasn't finished. It was just at the right time. It's perfect.
It's bad, though, isn't it?
A lot of the
boxing,
time,
it's always like,
that's the
you
game.
Can pick holes into everybody.
And how many times you see an old champion being fed up to a young up-and-coming prospect,
it's the
we hear that saying, cross-road fights, passing of the baton. That's the game, unfortunately.
I think criticism is a part of the game as long as it's fair criticism. It's not based upon an agenda.
Yeah.
And it's also, if it's informed criticism, if it comes from expertise rather than people just shouting it for the sake of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Does any of you, do we think any of us that we'll see Chris Eubank back in the ring in 2026?
No.
Junior?
I don't know.
No?
I think he's got enough.
I hope not,
Now, what I'm saying is he's got his issues outside of the ring. He's got his health problems outside of the ring. And I just think that off the back of that last performance, you know, we're talking about when you're looking at Deontay Wilder's, and Deontay's come out now and said, you know, there was reasons and personal problems going on in the background. Chris Eubank Jr. going in off the back of that performance, the first fight with Conor Benn took everything out of him. He had nothing left.
Exactly that.
Nothing left. Conor stole his soul in many ways in that fight.
It was his last hurrah. I think he left everything in there. But
so
I would rather not see him because he's had a phenomenal career.
Yeah.
He's had a brilliant career. He's made
monetarily,
monetarily, but no one was probably expecting that off him when he first turned pro. To do what he's actually done.
What he's done
is
absolutely unbelievable, Eubank. And it's a shame in some ways that he wasn't promoted straight away by a Frank Warren or an Eddie Hearn, because I think he would have even been an even bigger star than what he's
always wanted to do on his own terms.
Yeah,
his dad was like that.
But he's been amazing for boxing. Like, even me, like, I wanted Conor Benn to win, but I was like laughing at some of the build-up of Chris Eubank.
I have to say, I've been to many fights around the world, and one of the best atmospheres in a fight was when his brother Liam came in Manchester in the first fight against Chris.
Oh, his entrance was amazing,
of that is because the atmosphere, OK, they're all singing Tories, right?
Yeah.
That's a different discussion. But it was just to me, right? But it was also because of the intrigue that Chris Eubank brought in. Yeah. And the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Jack Catterall. Yeah. I'm a massive admirer of Jack's. I feel so sorry for him that he's had to have these many fights to get to certain situations. One fight too many against Arnold. Barbosa Jr. puts him back at the back of the pack. Yeah. Brilliant performance against Ekow.
Yeah.
And you know, went through a difficult period in the fight. I know you've described it previously where he got cut and all of a sudden he started to get worried about it.
Yeah, he thought it was the same cut as the Harlem Eubank. He was looking over. I said, it's not the same one. He panicked. What
are we going to get from Jack this year? What opportunities are going to be given to him and what are we going to get from him?
We're back where we were about a year ago. He's WBO #1. Hopefully, Gustavo Oliveira will mandate him to fight Devin Haney. He's always said he wants to fight Devin Haney. He just really fancies that fight. I mean, look, the Crocker fight was available, but people have to understand it's a voluntary defence. So it's when people say, you'll know this, Paul, get him a world title fight. He deserves it. I know he does. But who the hell is going to voluntarily fight Jack Catterall?
On your first fight.
On your first fight. You're not going to do it unless you're stupid. So he's going to fight... he'll either have a keep busy fight, but at the highest it'll be a good big name, hopefully, or he'll go straight into the Devin Haney fight at WBO #1. I mean, that's what I want for Jack. I mean, he was under a lot of immense pressure in that last fight.
Yeah.
You were saying Ekow was the best welterweight in the country, yeah? And I said, I'll remind you of this after the fight because I was so certain Jack was going to do what he was going to do to Ekow because his coach was telling him, you need to get this boy out of there in this fight. He was really drilling it into him.
The manner that he beat Ekow was very impressive, mate. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like what he had to overcome as well, and the psychological damage with the cut eye and all of that sort of stuff.
Moving
and he got
long-term
but he got himself
so
back together, and he boxed slightly differently. It was not such a sort of like
No, he wanted to
boring, sort of
entertain.
negative.
He wanted to entertain.
He pushed forward. None of this Tom and Jerry, as Turkey would call it. He went out there and he done the job, but he done it in world-class fashion. You've got to give him credit.
He's working hard in the gym yesterday as well.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's ready. It's the most important time in his life at the moment, Jack.
Absolutely
And I would back him to beat.
If ever there was karma and justice in the world, that he'll get a world title at this weight class, because we all know the circumstances in which he didn't get undisputed super lightweight titles. You know, we know that circumstance. How are you going to manage Pat Brown this year? We had him in the studio the other day. Yeah. Very impressive fella. In his most recent fight, I was really impressed with him. I spoke to you about him and raved about him.
Yeah.
I like his personality. I like his confidence. He exudes menace in a calm, collected, educated, erudite way. He's incredibly confident without being arrogant. This is, whilst I think the cruiserweight division is not the greatest division in the world because it doesn't really ignite and excite.
It's going to be his division soon, I'm telling you.
It can be, can't it? How are you going to manage him this year? Where are you taking him?
It's funny because I told Pat, I said, look, I'm going to leave you alone. He likes to, because Pat likes to forget about boxing. Yeah. When he's had a fight, he likes to have his time out with his family. He likes walking his dog but he messaged me and it was angry. And I said, I'm so glad you're in an angry mood because it means I can talk to you about boxing again. And he's like, I want back in. So, look, it's a rough one for me really because I signed John Hedges years and years ago when I was with Adam Morley at S-Jam. Yeah. But unfortunately, he's in the line of fire, John Hedges. He's the English champion. Pat's, I think, top 10 in the WBA now. So it looks as though that's the route we're hopefully going to go. I mean, it's not great news for John Hedges, but the game's
What,
the
is
game.
that the fight next?
Yeah, I'm hoping so, Spence. Nice. Yeah, but the game's the game. But we don't want to skip chapters because it's easy for me to get excited by
That's
Pat.
what Pat was saying.
Pat, I look at and I just think, and then if you don't want to ask me, ask Jamie Moore, who's a lot more.
He's still got to build that engine as well, hasn't he?
Absolutely, he wants, but we don't want to skip.
Like what Atama was.
Yeah, we just don't want to skip. We don't want to skip chapters with him, Paul. Do you know what I mean?
Tell you what, John Hedges is a class operator himself, mate, as well. Like that is a massive test for him. That, like a massive step up.
Absolutely, but we don't want to skip chapters, so we want to go English, British. The European, I don't personally think the European means what it used to mean.
Why not, Sam? I see fighters bypass. We're talking about Conor Benn, like bypass the British and come out the European. Like win them. There's no problem.
Yeah.
The good little sort of testing fights on your way up to get to inevitably where you're going to get to anyway. Yeah. But win them and do it and do it the traditional way.
That's what we're determined to do.
That's what he wants.
I really, as I say, it's so important because I think, I know. Listen, you tell me. It's easy to get excited. I get excited about fighters, but I'm telling you now, he is the boy, Pat Brown. He really is the boy. And I don't want to skip, we don't want to skip chapters with him. We want to do things the correct way, go the traditional route, and I do think he's going to blow everyone away.
Well, it'll be exciting to watch. I mean, I like him. I like the way he presents himself, and I certainly like the demolition job he did in the previous fight that he had against the guy that gets beat, but doesn't get beat like that.
And all the Americans were saying, this guy's going to take him rounds, and we was all looking at Pat no, he is
This
not.
guy gets beat, but he doesn't get beat the way Pat Brown beat him.
Absolutely.
Just a quick word before we go. We've obviously got Dalton Smith taking up the opportunity to fight Subriel Mateus for the WBC light welterweight. Despite the controversy surrounding this fight because of failed drug tests or challenges around that and Dalton deciding that I don't care about that, I'm going to fight this guy because he doesn't want to miss out the opportunity. This is a big opportunity for Dalton, isn't it? This is the moment.
Massive opportunity, but also a very difficult fight. Yep. Mateus is one of those guys that's got a huge engine, will keep coming. I think Dalton Smith has the quality and the toughness to see it through, and I think that he could nick it on points. But it's going to be, whatever way this goes, it's going to be tough, it's going to be tight, and it will go down to the wire because Mateus is one of those guys that just pushes forward. He's relentless.
Well, he'll have an even better engine, won't he?
Very good.
No, I think Dalton can win the fight for sure. I like Dalton. I like Grant Smith. It's a good gym down there. I don't know about paying £42.50 or whatever it is for the fight. I think that's insane in this day and age. But look, Dalton's got a great opportunity. I know he's trained incredibly hard all the way through Christmas's fight, and I'm backing him to win. I hope he smashes him to pieces. To be
well, so do I, especially in light of what's happened in the WBC.
He's one of the nicest lads out there
as well. What is going on there?
He's one of the nicest lads out there. He works his arse off constantly. He trains really good. He's an unbelievable fighter.
And his dad's sensible as well.
His dad's a good coach. They've got a good gym, good setup, good people. I hope good things happen to them. I'm just devastated that he's having to fight this cheat because
I agree.
He should not be rewarded.
I just see it going, Paul.
For failing the tests. It's a tough fight for him. It's a close fight. It's a hard fight.
It's on an away show as well.
I hope he does it. He's on an away show. It's obviously their promotion. I hope he does it.
So do I.
I hope he comes back as the winner.
Me too. So do I.